Hey, guys. I always say the same things at the start of the stream. Would kind of feel weird not doing it again. How are you guys doing? I hope the audio and video is working because yeah, I'm not on top of my game right now, but I'll try to do my best. That's a beautifully edited thumbnail. I agree, man. I agree. Best work I've ever done. I see and hear. That's good. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean we've had a few very volatile days. So we'll have enough to talk about Bitcoin. We can talk about other stuff too, like casual Sunday, whatever. So wherever you guys want to go, I'm willing to do because yeah, had some booze, we're chill. Hope you guys had a good weekend in general. And then, yeah, we'll just see where the stream takes us, I guess. As long as that's fine with you guys. Good evening, Don. Chilled Sunday evening. Loving your Twitter Wessie profile picture. Yeah, it's fucking amazing, isn't it? It's so good. For the people that haven't seen it, let me quickly pull it up. I mean, you probably saw it, but it's so cute. Loving that, of course. Drunk duck? Nah, I'm not drunk. I haven't had that much, but the weekend was long. I was on a date on Friday to Saturday, and then on a house warming party on Saturday, and then had friends over all day today, basically. So been a busy weekend, and I definitely feel it. But yeah, before we start the show, shout out to the sponsor of it, which is FTX. Um, they do like mobile trading stuff really, really well, and they also have portfolio tracking and they have lending and all that kind of stuff. Um, I actually really like their service, so if you do anything on your mobile phone, I think you should check that out. Their link is in the description. If you don't do it, it's fine as well. No one's forced to do anything. Please don't dump. Don't want to be stopped out again. Yeah, we'll talk about Bitcoin. I mean, that's the most interesting one anyway. And then we'll just do whatever you guys want to do. We want a stream with Cred too. Where's Cred? Cred's taking some time off. So yeah, let him have it because I mean he's never taken days off. So let me have some time off, and he's gonna come back as soon as he wants to. And until he comes back, I'm just gonna be the guy doing stuff. So you're gonna be stuck with me. I'm sorry. And I don't even have like the accent on top, like the British accent. I could try, but nah, not good at that kind of stuff. Been a nice day. I mean, fun, yes. Like long term, no. I don't know if you guys know how it is. Um, yeah, dating life in your 20s, going into 30s is a little bit different than when you're older, at least in my experience anyway. So I always got to differentiate between the two. So yeah, let's talk about all of that if you guys want to later. Before we do any of it, I don't want to bore the people that came for Bitcoin and want to leave after it. So I'll just do like the quick rundown for Bitcoin, and then you can have a nice Sunday or stick around with me doing stuff on stream that I don't know about yet. But yeah, the monthly still looks rough. I don't think like that's changed at all. For me, this just looks like massive pump into basically like a bad drop into like a tiny bounce with very, very little momentum. That said, the weekly looks actually really, really good right now. We're probably gonna close above support, and yeah, it's really, really hard to kind of counter trade the weekly because it's been one of the more accurate time frames that you could be trading. So can't recommend that too much. If we close above that weekly support, it's just not looking bad, right? That's as long as this holds. bulls aren't in trouble. Now, it could obviously like hold this week and then just dump next week and then we're all fucked, right? But I mean, that's just trading in general. As long as this holds structurally speaking, it's all good in my eyes. One thing to note is that we obviously kind of faked above here, above that resistance, and then probably gonna close below it. So that's like a negative, but in general, like I think like 45 is super important. And I mean, it seems like we're holding that, which is really good. And then on the daily, it looks really shit. So you're gonna have your monthly and your daily, and that looks shit. And then you have your weekly that actually looks amazing in my eyes. So you kind of have to pick your poison and go from there. I think in general, if Bitcoin on the daily goes back above 46,270, so this resistance here, there's actually a play to be made to the upside based on the weekly being good, right? So you have like the weekly good, and then you get some momentum on the daily going, and then you could easily see, I think, roughly like 50K. As long as we're below this, the daily looks really, really bad because, I mean, and you might be asking, Don, why? Because it's at support, right? But the problem is with this support, and this is why like I'm not too keen on getting crazily, like buying a crazy amount. It's just like, look at how often this support's been tested. And that makes me nervous. I don't I don't buy tests of a level that has been like tested so many times. I think I said garbage there, but you get what I'm trying to say. I don't like to buy levels that have been tested too many times. It's the same with this resistance, right? We saw the resistance being tested over and over and over again, and it was pretty damn clear it was going to break. Now, this could break to the downside and then come back up, and then it starts looking strong again, right? Same as it's done up here, right? Where it's tested the resistance a bunch of times and broke up. This kind of shakeout, whatever, above resistance or below support becomes more and more likely the more often you test that support. And that's why this has me a little bit worried on the lower time frames. But the weekly looks good. And I mean, I would love a shakeout below here and then break back above. And then you have a daily bullish setup, a weekly bullish setup. And the monthly doesn't look so bad that you couldn't trade it on the bullish side of things. So that'd be kind of my favorite setup to take. If you get that. And if you don't get it, like if it doesn't break down and comes back up again, it's kind of like the 46 level. That's really interesting because we broke that down. We've retested it on the daily. And if you can kind of cross above there, it might get interesting volatility wise, because I think at that point you could see a squeeze into like 48 to like 50 resistance. And then you'd still, like, even for the bears, that wouldn't invalidate much because you have your kind of, like, you go back in there, and then if you're bearish, you can still be bearish and, like, say, okay, this is just going to make a lower high into the area where you get, like, head and shoulder stuff. So as a bull, you can play the bullish momentum. As a bear, you can try to sell the resistance and hope it doesn't rip above it, because if it does rip above it, I think we're just going to go. So there you go. That's Bitcoin, like the short version. Hope that helps. Any questions to that? Otherwise, I'll just go over the chat, see what you guys have been saying, and then, yeah. True dating in the 30s sucks. I mean, I'm not in the 30s yet, so I haven't really gone through that yet. I can imagine, though, like if you like date women that are kind of like worrying that they're not going to find a partner to have like children with and stuff, that can get really, really difficult. I've had that before with like older women, a little bit problematic, but other than that, I don't think it makes too much of a difference as long as children aren't involved, right? LOL weekly looks terrible, Don. Looks like 214 and 218 bull trap reversal that led to lower levels. I don't think so. Like for me, it just looks like, I mean, we can turn off the log. It looks like we're back into the range. This isn't bad looking. Like this is basically, you have a range, you break below it, and then you come back into it. Like that's usually like a setup that I want to be long. And so looking at this, this doesn't look bad to me. Now, obviously, if we start breaking it down, like the best bearish setups are the failed bullish ones, but I mean, that's just speculating on it breaking down is just a little bit early. But you can be bearish. I don't mind it. Like right now, I think you can play into momentum more than anything. And you have like the monthly is bearish in my eyes and the daily is bearish in my eyes. It's just this isn't bearish chart-wise, at least according to my system. Usually, if the daily looked good and if the monthly looked good, I'd be buying this every time. Just based on, okay, it's support. It's the strongest support we have. The next one is quite a bit away. And the momentum's been really, really strong. So whenever you have like something like this, and then it breaks down, oftentimes it just comes back up. So yeah, weekly not that bad. Daily looks just completely hideous. Do you find your duck bill gets in the way for kissing? I haven't had that problem yet. I mean, we ducks are very creative. Hey Dawn, please can you take a look at FTM? A bunch of people asking for coins. Is that what it's gonna be? I come here for a Sunday stream and you bully me into charting coins? Oh my, what have I done? Chart dispenser at work. When do you think it's the best time to exit altcoins into Bitcoin? Thank you. I mean, depends on what kind of altcoins you're holding. I've been selling, like I sold my XRP and stuff before the Bitcoin nuke. But, and haven't really looked into the altcoins since, but they're not too terrible looking, I guess. One of the ones that I've been watching and been trying to get filled on has actually been Tezos, which I hate to say because Tezos is always the bull run killer. Whenever Tezos pumps, the entire market crashes usually. But I feel like there's a play to be made on the kind of NFT side of things. They're like trying to like really hard to get into NFTs. That's where this pump is basically coming from. But haven't had any luck so far. But yeah, with regards to selling altcoins into Bitcoin, the moment you start thinking Bitcoin is going to break out bullish or bearishly, you've seen what this Bitcoin breakdown did to altcoins, right? If you expect that, you want to be selling. And if you expect the exact same on the opposite side of things, you want to be selling the altcoins as well. Unless you expect, like as long as it's going sideways, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You're going to get some random pumps, some sun coins, and it goes back and forth. Not big deal. But as basically, you always want to be selling altcoins when you expect a big chat or big new candle, and you want to be holding altcoins anywhere in between that. That pump was strongly helped along by the Pentoshi tweets. Maybe, but it's a good narrative anyway. And it's not like super high up. So that's why I wanted to get into, or like try to get into it, but didn't manage to. I'll see, like if Bitcoin mega pumps or mega dumps, maybe I'll get a position. I don't know. Don, how does money change the people around you? Do you see a lot of difference between how the same people treat it now versus then? No, I have amazing friends, so haven't had that problem yet. Not to my knowledge anyway. Like I've been very lucky in my life that I've had the most amazing friends pretty much. Like basically I'm really good at picking people and keeping them in my life that I like. And so I have like a bunch of really close friends that are just good people and that don't really give a shit. So not that much changed in that front. Now I have problems with meeting new people because I mean explaining them what I do is something I generally try to avoid doing. So it's kind of like this weird situation where everyone talks about what they do and I'm just like not. And yeah, but it's fine. Like most of the time it's just fine. I do like a few stupid jokes here and there about it, and then everyone forgets that they ever asked me. And then at some point when I know them better, I bring it up maybe. I try to avoid crypto though. Like I don't want to say I'm in crypto. Where do you get your friends from? I mean, my friends are from like way back in the day. Like I have a bunch of friends from like back when I was like 5 years old still, and then like in every single school year that I've had, um, I just met cool people, and then like one or two of those kind of stuck around for the long term, and that's been really cool. Friends with benefits. I mean, yeah, that's kind of how my weekends go nowadays, my friend. That's how my weekends go, which isn't really the best way to go about it. Not gonna lie. Like I'm actually starting to look for something serious, but yeah, so far I have only had luck with stuff that isn't quite as serious, or with like people that I wouldn't want to date as serious. So yeah, that's been a little bit of a struggle, but I mean, is what it is. Life's fun regardless. Any thoughts on ADA event tonight? Oh, there's an event. I don't even know. I mean, if you're trading ADA, it's at all-time high with regards to Bitcoin. So this was kind of annoying for me because I was looking for an entry on ADA based on its strength, and every time like it got close, it just started rallying. So like ADA has been like a little bit of an annoying thing. As you can see, I still have this on my chart. I used to trade it. I traded it on the short side of things, and I actually closed my shorts into like down here. And but yeah, didn't really get any long-term stuff going. Not the biggest ADA fan anyway. But with regards to news, you don't generally want to stick around to see whether they're going to be playing out bullishly or bearishly. If you've had a massive rally in your favor going into news, you usually want to take at least some off so that if it dips, you can buy that dip if you want to, like if you're a big fan. And if it doesn't, then I mean, whatever, made a bunch of money anyway. That's how I treat news events. Like if you have a pump that is not caused by anything, you want to stick around usually. But if it's caused by a news event, you usually want to take some off so you can either add back later or just in general de-risk. So yeah. Second time I heard today to love and keep your friends close. Yeah, I mean with regards to friends, right? I feel like most people like get friendship completely wrong, and in relationships in general, right? Because like the thing is, if you don't work for friendships or relationships, um, then I mean they're not gonna be there when you need them, right? It's like you can't just go into life thinking that you don't have to do anything for other people, and that they're just gonna do everything for you, right? So it's like it's a it's a constant giving, and then if you have a good friendship and both sides of the party kind of feel like they owe the other one, it's this nice kind of back and forth of okay, um, this guy did something nice for me, so I'm just gonna try to kind of make him happy. And then the next time you do something cool for like your friends, can be like something small, can be bigger, whatever. And then they come back and they're like, holy shit, this was really nice. I'm just gonna try to return the favor. And then you feel like, okay, this guy just did something nice for me. I'm just gonna try to like think of something cool. And it's the same in a relationship, right? You don't want to just sit there and do nothing, because if you do that, it's just gonna get boring, right? You gotta put some work into it. And most people just kind of assume like this stuff is just gonna be there, and not work on it, right? It's with everything in life. You gotta work to have like the body that you've always dreamed of, and you're gonna have to work on yourself and your relationship if you wanna have the relationship that you've always wanted. Be that with friends or like your significant other or whatever. It's my opinion anyway. Like if you don't work on it, it's gonna go to shit at some point. And that's a good thing, right? Like the best thing about like I don't know, like I don't know about you guys, but it makes me supremely happy to kind of be helping other people, especially people that I like. So it's actually like a gift for myself too if I can make someone happy. So Are you thin or thick? I'm more on the thin side of things. Always have been, but yeah. Need to work out more. Like COVID's been really bad, so more lanky nowadays. I used to be fit, now I'm more lanky. Don, last stream you mentioned you didn't quite like the direction this space was moving in. What did you mean by that? I don't like the greed shit that's been going on, right? I mean, everyone's kind of like, you see like half-hearted NFT projects get up there everywhere from people that you respect, from like people that you would think would do otherwise. And I mean, I'm not saying every NFT project is like that, but I mean, if you look around on Twitter, you see a bunch of people just do low effort garbage shit and then just abuse their followers into like pushing it and then make a bunch of money off of it. Like that's one thing. It kind of reminds me of the ICO bubble. Like in 17, 18, I got really disgusted by the space. It always happens to me. Like whenever like the market goes completely nuts, I kind of get this disgust for what's going on in the market. And that was like, I felt like I didn't want to hold crypto back then anymore. I kept a bunch because I was like, I'm not really like, I wasn't like full-time trading as long as I have now back then. But I just was unhappy with how it's going, like where it was going. Fees were high, you couldn't really use anything in crypto. I felt like everything that I kind of believed in back then didn't turn out to be true for Bitcoin side of things, right? And because the network was unusable in the 20K region and lower. And then, you have the same thing now, right, with ETH, where it's like barely usable and it's like people are just greeting for every kind of cent that they can press out of their followers. And then you have like, in general, like even the maxis cheer for stuff that I don't agree with. And I don't know, it's tough. It doesn't mean like that I dislike the idea of it all. It's just like sometimes you get this buildup of people that I think shouldn't kind of direct the flow of communication. And it always happens when the market goes nuts. You always get like the wrong people speaking loudly, and that always disgusts me. Doesn't have to mean that the top's in or whatever. It just means that like I'm like sitting there being like, ugh. It starts getting embarrassed being like a fan of crypto in a sense. I don't know if embarrassing. I don't know if that's the same for you guys. Maybe it's just me, but I felt the same like back in here, feeling like that again. Doesn't really make me like super bearish. Just makes it hard to invest and hold anything. So masternodes are pretty disgusting too. Yeah. The good thing about NFTs, and this is something that I want to say at this point, is that at least there's no promises made there, right? You sell an NFT, it's a picture, whatever. Everyone that buys it knows that it's just like worthless stuff. I mean, not every NFT is worthless, but you get the point, right? Like the 10,000 NFT project or whatever that copies like the profile picture kind of thing. Obviously not gonna be as valuable as something original in the long run anyway. My view on things. So yeah. Were people chilling ICOs back then? Yes. But I mean, it was basically like you didn't really chill the ICO. The game back then was you bought the ICO with your friends basically. And I like, this is something that I did 2 ICOs or 3 ICOs and then a bunch of neo ICOs, but I didn't abuse my influencer status back then. I, in general, haven't done that ever for any allocation because I find it disgusting. But what you did was you have a bunch of followers, so you know, like the projects know that you can chill the projects to like a larger audience, so they give you an allocation and then they sell out because everything's sold out. And it was the same like in some parts of the DeFi run and stuff, right? You had the same thing happen. And then it sells out and then you start, like it launches and then you start chilling it to your audience. and that's kind of like what a lot of people did. And the audience, or like the audience of the people that do it, buy it at like a 10x markup, and then you have enough liquidity to like sell into it or do whatever you want with it. And then oftentimes you even got money to shill it, so you get like a double dip. You get like to buy the ICO, and then you get to sell, like you get tokens for free on top, and then you get to dump on like a 10x markup. Like it was the easiest kind of money you could make. It's just not something I was interested in partaking in, because it's just not good. But yeah, so I'm glad that at least that is out there. Like that's not happening anymore. That was like the ICO stuff was super disgusting. The NFT stuff disgusts me way, way less. So yeah. I remember in 17, I thought Litecoin was the best trader in the world. Yeah, a bunch of people did that. I mean, he bought a bunch of followers, allegedly, whatever, and was a guy in a suit, and then just pretended to be really, really good, and then people bought it because no one knew what was going on. But yeah, let's not talk about that stuff. It's just gonna get me depressed again. Better things to talk about, I think. There's a city on the Windows bar at the right bottom of the stream. Be careful. No, that just means that it's English, and like the temperature is not even from where I'm from. It's a different one. So do not be worried about me. It's fine. And even if it was, like, it's not a big deal. So yeah, NFTs actually give power to individuals to do what ICOs did. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of cool things that that NFTs can do. It's just sad that a lot of people use it to kind of do shitty stuff. But yeah, when Gigamoon, I mean, I think Gigamoon, if we close above 46.3, I could see that. Like on the lower time frames, basically get back above here, because right now we're basically exactly where you'd want to be selling usually, right? Like you had like a massive breakdown, you get no momentum on the upswing, which is not good, and then you consolidate it, had a shakeout to the upside, and then broke down. So that consolidation is where a bunch of people are underwater. So they're gonna be selling, right? But as soon as this is lifted up again, these people are the ones that are underwater, and then the situation shifts, right? So like you have a bunch of people that bought here that are probably gonna try to get out of the positions, break even if they can. If that isn't enough to nuke it, then you flip this and you have a bunch of people that sold in here forming back into position for the second leg up. And then like after the second leg up, I have no idea what happens, right? Depends on the strength, but of the move, obviously. But there you go. Like that's kind of like, this is the area where it kind of revolves around. That's why I've been saying like daily is looking a little bit rough, because it's the same on the daily, right? You can see where that line, look at that. That's almost like the consolidation that I marked out is pretty much a daily candle. So yeah. Are you from Germany? Yes, I am. He lives in Bewölkt, population 17. I mean, that'd be a struggle if there's like 16, 17 people. Oh shit, it's 16 now, so someone died. Life's tough over here in Bewölkt. God, I remember the BitConnect ICO and everyone shilling that crap. Yeah, that was really bad. September is a bad month for stonks and can drag down crypto. What do you think of SPX chart for next week? I mean, like we've had a pretty significant downswing. This is a market that only goes up, right? So it's really hard to just say, okay, this looks like the breakdown. What you can do, and I think probably the wisest thing to do, if you want to look at this, and we can delete all lines. Look at this. Pretty much every swing point that you've made has held, right? So as long as that's the case, zoom up only. This is, by the way, this is completely hilarious. This fucking chart is so dumb. But as soon, like, let's say this breaks down and then bounces again, then I would start, like, that's where you want to at least factor in some weakness on this thing. But as long as that's not the case, right, the next week could just start doing like this, like start going back up again. And then you just keep on doing it. And like, even though this is completely nuts, like it's not gone completely parabolic yet. So, and we in crypto know, like whenever something gears up for a parabolic move, and this is for sure, like at least looking like it, stuff gets crazy, right? So either this starts breaking down significantly, or it just starts breaking up. And given its stonks, it makes sense to just assume it's gonna go up unless you're proven otherwise. And then being proven otherwise is just like taking out some wicks. And even then, like I wouldn't want to be shorting this. I just factor that in my crypto analysis. That's basically how I'm treating it anyway. Looks like never-ending rising wedge. I mean, do you guys remember back in 17 when we had like rising wedge and then it broke up and then it did like a rising wedge again and it broke up again? I mean, that's just how markets can go, right? Like those kind of patterns not gonna help you much. If the market's strong, the market's gonna be strong. Do you invest in stonks at all? I mean, a little bit, yes, but not as much as I should be. I mean, I'm trying, like, I'm hoping this nukes. It's just, I don't think it's going to. But if it does, I'd be happy because, I mean, I'm going to buy more. Shift some of my crypto allocation over. Basically, it's my plan. But who knows if that's going to happen. And if not, it's whatever. I have time. And I mean, it's not like crypto is going anywhere either. So yeah, there you go. With regards to altcoins, we can quickly talk about it, but each super boring. Litecoin actually showed some strength and obviously nuked right after when. Okay, interesting. Whatever. I have no idea what that was. Thank you, TradingView. Probably a new feature or something. But yeah, Litecoin obviously nuked with the Bitcoin nuke, but there's some movement there at least. So I'm gonna watch this weekly close, see if it can close above here, and then I don't want to buy Litecoin again. Fucking Litecoin, always a pain. You buy it and it goes up 20% and you sell it and it nukes all the way down again. And while like everything new kind of goes up 50% in a day, fucking sucks. But yeah, I'm down to kind of look at this, see if it's strong. Like the older coins, XRP too. Like I want to be buying that back. It's just not entirely sure where Bitcoin is gonna go yet. I want to see like Bitcoin strength basically. Like a little bit of Bitcoin strength. I don't want to see the complete mega moon on Bitcoin. So given that I told you earlier that pretty much Bitcoin's at this do or die level at 45, it's really hard to position in the altcoins because like this breaks, right? We break 45, we go into the 30s. I'm pretty damn certain that we'd be revisiting this area. And it holds. And I'm pretty damn certain we're gonna go to new all-time highs. So it's like at that point, it's really, really difficult to allocate too much into the altcoins. That's my trouble right now. But if I get like good setups, and I mean, I've done the same with Link, right? I was like, there's a good support to buy. I'm gonna buy it, and then I bought it and it pumped. And the same thing with XRP. Hey Doc, I would appreciate your opinion on the AVAX breakout today. I mean, we can talk about AVAX because it's like a new shiny thing. Oh yeah, this was a 3-day level. Okay, whatever. Fuck off, TradingView. Am I locked out or something? Because I have like the advanced thing. No idea. I gotta check that later. Because I have like the most premium plan that you can have. No idea why it's not working. This is a scam. Yeah, this is 3-day level, so I can't show you. But like on the Bitcoin pair, just kind of broke out. Getting scammed by TradingView. Holy shit. Bleeding out the ass to pay for. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm paying for it. I think TradingView actually gifted it to me. So never mind. I think I used to pay for it, and then they started gifting it to me because they liked me. So I can't really complain. But with regards to this, like AVAX tested support, bounced from it, and then on the USD pair, which might be more interesting, it kind of held weekly support, right? It looked really, really shitty for a while, but it held that weekly support that I kept talking about, 38, 39, and just mooned. And it's basically closing new highs, right? So like whenever you have this kind of stuff, you just let it go, right? You're in this, you just let it go. Let's say you bought 38, 39, that's your invalidation still. You don't want to see it come back down there again. Like let's say this starts bleeding out. That'd be a bad look, but unless that happens, I mean, just fucking moon it. I don't see a good reason to be too bearish on it. As long as you're bullish, or at least not mega bearish on Bitcoin. I mean, this just looks good to me. So, yeah. You have TradingView Pro Plus. What is the advantage of having the most advanced plan? You can do a bunch of stuff. Like I could do like 1 second charts if I wanted to. Yeah, but like not working right now, so I can't even show it off. I could do like indicator stuff, but I usually don't need it. It was just like I had like a really high up plan, so you can like have a bunch of tabs open at the same time. You can do like a bunch of stuff that you normally can't. You can have like stuff like this, and then just have everything on one screen. There's a bunch of advantages that it has, but the most normal one, like the usual kind of one, works too. And then they kind of, I like TradingView had like a bunch of bugs that I reported to them, and they were like, "Thanks, man," and then gifted me a lifetime. Apparently, they kind of titled it a lifetime, like super high up plan, but apparently it's gone now, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that out after the stream. That's something I didn't actually notice before. Volume profile, etc. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's included there. You don't necessarily need it though. Where's Cradman? I miss him with his jokes. Yeah, Crad's taking care of other stuff. And he's doing spaces and stuff, so if you want to like have his jokes, just join his spaces. But I think he's probably gonna take off next week, so it's gonna be all me next week. I'm gonna have to like legitimately think about stuff to do, because yeah, you can only talk about charts so much, right? And at some point it's like, okay, we've talked about this before, and there's only a few setups that are worth talking about, but we'll get it. We'll get it. We'll make it work. Was it strange meeting Cred for the first time and realizing he's not an old man with a jovial, sly smile? No, actually, like, I think we hit it off pretty nicely from the get-go, but I mean, we knew each other for a long time before, right? So it's obviously still like at the start, it's kind of like new, and you're like, okay. In real life, you're always a little bit different, but no, I mean, we got a hang of it really quickly. So sometimes you just need to reload the site. Yeah, maybe that's it, but I don't want to do it right now. Any scalping lessons? I mean, I've talked about like the low time frame stuff before. If you trade low time frame stuff, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it, I've talked about it too much already in other videos. Make sure you really understand how much of your edge is gonna be taken away in fees. So you trade this on the 5-minute chart, you're gonna lose a shitload of your risk reward setup in trading fees, and you're gonna lose a shitload in slippage. So as long as you take, like, that's the biggest thing that you have to account for, because most people, they're like, I bought here and it's up here and I closed and I make a profit and whatever, and they don't look at that account balance, not realizing that the edge that they think they have is actually way thinner. So the bigger the price movement, the less fees, slippage, and all the stuff that you have to pay for actually trading matters, right? So trading becomes easier the higher time frame you go. The lower time frame stuff, unless you have like this really small balance and you find like a tiny edge that you can take advantage of, that other people haven't figured out yet, it's easier to kind of just make sure you're following the trends, the higher time frame trends, and take advantage of those. That's the best advice that I can give you for the smaller time frames, because I've seen too many people waste their time sitting there trying to find an edge on the lower time frames when the entire market is going from 0 to 100, or like from 10K to 60K on Bitcoin, for example. And then you try to catch like the low time frame stuff, and you're actually outperformed by the higher time frame setups, and you generally lose sleep over it. And yeah, so if you're not like super into it, super dialed down, if you don't like have like a very analytical kind of brain, the zero IQ kind of strategy of like just following the high time frame trend and doing a few trades every now and then usually works better for the average person. What do you think about the gaming sector? Like in general or in crypto? Because in general, I'm hyper bullish on the gaming sector. I think it's just only gonna grow. In crypto, like, I mean, there's just shit games basically. So I think there's probably opportunity there. And I think like if you get like a decent game, fucking moon it. This just is how it is. Like you need a good game. But I don't really have, like, I haven't seen a game where I'd say, holy shit, I want to be playing that. It's like, okay, this is not complete garbage. Like that's how I look at these, like most of them anyway, or pretty much every game that I've seen where it's been like, okay, this is not something that is completely shit. It's been kind of, I wouldn't want to play this, but it's not bad. Like it's tolerable basically. That's my experience with crypto games. So as long as there's nothing there that completely consumes me. And I mean, I would love for a crypto game to come up that is like super, super good, because I love like the combination of gaming and markets. Something that I've loved my entire life. I mean, I played Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and actually like loved the trading aspect more than the actual gaming itself. And was always nice just like to tycoon it out in like games, like in online games. Kind of find an edge, find something where you're profitable, trade stuff back and forth. Like I love that kind of stuff, but I mean, there's nothing in the crypto space so far. Don, are you Dutch? Nope. Close enough though, German. Maybe a dumb question, but is it better to just limit buy by putting in the exact price rather than market buy? It's actually a really, really good question. So who said that? Costanza, really good question, because a lot of people do this very, very wrong. So let's say you want to FOMO into something and you want to market buy, right? And then you have, this is like the limit, right? Jesus, this is going to be too ugly. So you have the limit buy, and then you have the market buy, right? Button basically, or like tab, or depends on your exchange. And most people, even the people like the bigger fish out there, if they want to FOMO something up, they click on this and then they type in their size and then they just send it, right? Whereas everyone that is ever like kind of gotten fucked, like there's a bunch of reasons why this can fuck you. One, sometimes like the exchange lags out, and this is less of a problem nowadays, but it used to be a much, much bigger one. And I mean, it still happens. And then you suddenly get filled 20 seconds after you've clicked on the market buy, and it prices up 1,000 or down 1,000, and you're getting fucked. or you just slip a whole lot. Let's say you buy like $1 million worth of whatever Litecoin, and you see there's orders there, and then they instantly, like in the moment you click market buy, they get pulled, and then you create a candle like this that instantly retraces. You get filled like 5% above the market and you're fucked, right? You can avoid all of that if you just go to the limit tab button and then you type in to what kind of price you would like to be filled. That is like, let's say Bitcoin's trading at 45K and you're like, I'm fine with buying everything up to 45.1. And you type in 45.1 with your size, and then you just execute that. The exchange is probably going to tell you that you're actually like gonna be market buying with that order. But what you're avoiding with this is that you're not gonna create a wick. Two, if it actually freezes and lags out, you're still gonna be like, the worst that can happen is that you're gonna be filled at 45.1 instead of at 45.8 or something with your market buy. You should never be using the market buy tab. You should always be using the limit buy tab or sell, same thing, because you avoid a shitload of trouble this way. Now it's 99%, nothing is going to happen to you if you use the market buy or market sell. But the one time that you sell into an empty book or buy into an empty book, or the exchange fucks up and you get completely wrecked, you're going to think back and you're going to be like, I'm the idiot, because I know that there's a better way to market buy, and that's just by putting a limit above price. So you're just still going to do the same thing, but you're going to say, okay, I want to be market buying with a limit. I don't want to be just completely smashing it. So there you go. With regards to market buying anyway, I hope that was the question. But it's in general like a topic that you should be thinking about. Don't be stupid and just be the wick that you don't want to be. Binance has a warning for dangerous market buy sell. Yeah, but I mean, it depends on where you trade, and a lot of people do it anyway. So there you go. You can just avoid all the troubles by just not using the market buy tab. Just use the limit stuff. So there you go. That doesn't mean like people seem to misunderstand. Like the thing I just described with like, if you want to be buying and you put a limit above price, that's still a market buy technically. It's just you say there's a limit to how high I would still be buying. Stop loss is still the same. Like stop loss, you put your stop loss in and it's still gonna be just a market sell. So no, like stop loss obviously is still gonna take you out. Like you have a stop loss, a hard stop loss in place. Price goes below there. You don't want to have like your order activate the moment it starts trading below at that price, right? That'd be stupid, because you want to be getting out at that price. You can obviously still do that, and I've seen people do it where they're like, if price goes below this, put in an order at my stop loss, and then if price goes back into it, I'm getting stopped out. But that's stupid, because normally you're invalidated once your stop loss is hit, and then you expect it to go further down. So you don't want to be doing anything fancy with that. If you have a hard stop loss, you should kind of stick with that. So yeah, hope that helps. It's something that, I mean, I wouldn't say it if I hadn't fucked that up before. Like I've bought and sold into empty books before, gotten completely fucking wrecked, lost way more than I was actually planning on, and got a way worse position than I wanted to. Not something you want to be doing. But that's been years ago, and there's been a lot of changes to exchanges. But I mean, like I said, I only use the limit stuff. Can you have a quick look at ETH, please? Sure, yeah. Oh shit, ETH actually looks kind of garbage. Yeah, I'm not a big fan on the USD pair. Now, like if it does start closing back above this, that's something. Then I wouldn't be like saying, okay, this looks bad anymore. I would just say this looks whatever. one thing to note, like this is double top. Double tops usually don't hold in crypto. The thing though is that this really should have held, in my opinion. Like this green box should have held. We shouldn't have gone below it, and then retested from the other side. So even if we go back above it, we could just chop, right? Like from a technical standpoint, I think this should have held. The fact that it hasn't shows weakness. Now, if it starts meandering back upwards again, you're probably gonna smash the all-time high. So, like, I'm not super bearish on ETH, just based on the fact like ETH BTC is just like in the middle of nowhere. But I don't like the chart too much. I hate when I get these kind of situations where it breaks down and then like this is basically the full breakdown and it comes back up again. Like this is usually something I want to be shorting. But I'm not interested in shorting. But yeah, not biggest fan on ETHUSD. If it starts closing back above like this resistance that it's at right now, like basically if it starts closing back above, ignore this big one. If it starts closing back above here, send it, I think. Or like at least towards like here. But then it's like a short-term game more than a long-term game. I think like you take this out, you can play it to this. The problem is like that the box that I had before got broken, so it's like you could get some nasty chop. But yeah, I don't like this. I don't like the looks of this. Thanks for mentioning it because I haven't actually looked at that in a while. I've just been focused on Bitcoin. So yeah, gonna have to have a long think about this actually. But yeah, if it starts closing back above 3.5, take it to like 3.8, and then it's a double top, so maybe it goes up. Depends a lot on Bitcoin though. But yeah, I don't have anything actionable on this. Like if you want to be shorting this, you could start shorting it from here. Technically it broke down, right? With like the stop loss up here somewhere and the target somewhere down here. I don't want to be shorting anything. I just want to chill. And if it dips, I'm going to buy the dips. And if it doesn't dip, there's other stuff to buy, right? If ETH shows strength, you're going to be able to buy other altcoins, and they're probably going to outperform ETH anyway. So, yeah. And like the reason why I'm saying this looks like garbage is because like best case on the bullish side of things, like this looks like it's going to chop. And worst case, it just looks like this is a bearish retest right now. What is the significance of altcoin USD setups when it seems to all depend on Bitcoin just to find altcoins that may show more strength? Good question. The thing is, in general, it mostly depends on Bitcoin. And then that's why I like altcoin Bitcoin pairs so much. So you're trading, basically you only want to be holding altcoins when you think they're going to outperform Bitcoin, right? So that's why I like these so much, because you can kind of see the trend, right? For example, for ETH, it's been outperforming Bitcoin for like 2 years now, almost. How long is this? Yeah, roughly 2 years. So you want to be trading ETH, right? In general. And that's how you use the Bitcoin pairs, right? You look for support, you look for something to buy if you think that this is going to continue to show strength. The reason why you use USD pairs a lot is because most people trade them nowadays. So you see something that you like on the Bitcoin pair, you go on the USD pair because you're probably going to be buying with USD. And then you look for the exact entry or exit on the USD pair, because those are going to be the more traded ones. So you kind of have to use both, in my opinion. You can obviously see whether like an altcoin is outperforming Bitcoin by just kind of like looking at the percentages and stuff, but it's obviously much clearer when you compare the altcoin with Bitcoin directly instead of just looking at the altcoin USD pair. So yeah, this would be a tricky risk-reward ratio given we're in a bull market. Yeah, but I mean, this wouldn't have to be your target, right? This is just like the first support. Like if this breaks, like if this stays at resistance, you can target much lower. This would just be the first support. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, whatever. Like I said, double top, I generally wouldn't want to be shorting this anyway. But yeah, if you're like on the short side of things, you could take an entry here and target like below range low here. Hope for like a shakeout down here for after like before continued upside. If you're like a giga bear, and that's a completely different story then. But like I said, I'm not interested in that at all. So you gotta do that bear targeting without me. Are altcoins still highly leveraged? They're pretty highly leveraged again, yeah. They shook out and then they just completely took on all the leverage again, or most of it anyway. So yeah. Oof. I am getting really tired. Don, how did you learn English in Germany? Just had it in school, basically. And I mean, I used to play online games all the time. So like I learned English by playing Diablo 2, mostly. Because I had to like trade with people on there and I like a bunch of stuff. I think like most people that learn a foreign language learn it by media, right? Like pretty much everyone in Europe learned English by consuming English media and then obviously also having it in school. Very noobish question, but why do people hedge? For example, if you have spot Bitcoin, why short something or Bitcoin itself to hedge? Why not just reduce the spot size? Good question, actually. Reason is you can get funding. So let's say you have one Bitcoin and you're like, I think it's gonna go down, I wanna be selling that. The question is, can you actually earn money for selling it? Like, can you actually get money for being in a position like you're selling it? For example, a hedge, right? So let's say you wanna be rid of it all. You wanna be rid of this Bitcoin and you see that an exchange like FTX, for example, is paying you like 0 point something percent per day to kind of be short, right? And you don't want to have that Bitcoin anyway. You're like, I don't want to have this. Then it makes sense to kind of take that free money, like go to that exchange if you're not afraid that that exchange is going to disappear overnight, and then just short that Bitcoin away. Like you take your Bitcoin on the exchange, you short one Bitcoin on the exchange, so you have zero exposure. If the market crashes, you gain all the money back that you still have your Bitcoin, right? But you gain all the money back by being in that short position. So it kind of cancels each other out, and then you also get paid for it, right? So if the funding pays you, I mean, makes sense to kind of hedge because you're just gonna get like interest on your Bitcoin by doing nothing. So that's one reason, and it's obviously the same exact thing. Like when funding flips on the, like let's say you have you can do the exact same opposite too, right? Funding flips, the exact same opposite scenario. And then there's a bunch of other reasons. For example, you say, I have one Bitcoin. I want to have like a Bitcoin position in the future. But I don't want to have it right now. And then you can go on like a trade site or whatever. And I'm not recommending this for most people because most people do stupid shit when they're doing that. But like if you're a robot basically and do everything right, you just go to that exchange, you short until you want to be holding it again, and then you get paid the same, right? If you had to like kind of sell your spot and then rebuy it, that's much more of a hassle than just having a hedge on like a leverage position that you can close relatively easy. And then the same thing is true if you have like, let's say you have 10,000 Bitcoin and you want to have those. You don't want to sell all of them or like sell spot or whatever. It's hard to get in and out of that position, but you want to hedge against like a possible downturn, and then you kind of go to a leverage platform and then just sell some there. And then if price goes down, you don't lose as much, and if price goes up, you can just close it again. Just like it's easy. It's easy. You get paid for it. Like there's a bunch of advantages. Obviously, for most people, a bunch of disadvantages too, because like when most people start trading, they do dumb shit. Like I've seen so many people do like so much stupid shit on leverage platforms that nowadays I just tell people not to. But there's a bunch of really, really good reasons why you should like do that kind of stuff. Or for example, you have like you can like short futures that are trading at a premium, right? Like you don't want to have your Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin is at 60K, and you don't want to have your Bitcoin. You go on like a futures platform, and the future of Bitcoin. And if you don't know what a future is, you can just Google it, Investopia or whatever it's called. Should explain it to you relatively well. And then the future is trading at 70K, and you can sell your Bitcoin for 70K basically, and be happy with that. And then wait till the future runs out, and then you kind of pocket the difference. So yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff, and like stuff that you can use for your advantage beyond the 100x leverage kind of stuff that you shouldn't do. What if it rallies and you get liquidated? You can't. If you put one Bitcoin on the exchange and then you short one Bitcoin on the exchange, you cannot get liquidated. Like it's impossible. And then you get like, while you're having that on, so you basically, you put one on the exchange and then you short one. So you're like, the outcome is 0. And then you get paid funding out of it. So you get like your position the entire time, as long as funding is in your favor anyway. Any clue from options market at the moment? What do you think? I've actually like before, like going into the weekend, I actually closed a bunch of options on Friday going into Saturday, because I've expected the market to kind of be boring for a while. And I'm thinking about reopening some, but I don't know. I'm not an options trader. It's pretty difficult, honestly, not gonna lie. Like the option trading stuff is a little bit more difficult than the normal trading stuff. So I've tried it out. I've made a bunch of money on it, which is lucky. I mean, whenever you have like a volatile move like this, you're gonna make a bunch of money on options, but it's pretty difficult, I think. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna continue to do that. So yeah. What did you do for a living before crypto? I actually got lucky. Like I was like a student before, and then I just put my entire money, everything that I had worked for and everything that I had like saved, put into crypto, and then ran it up while I was studying. And as soon as it got significant enough that I could say, okay, I don't need to study anymore, or at least take like a year off of my studies to kind of concentrate on this full time. I just never had to go back. So I was fortunate enough to kind of escape like the usual workplace. Like I used to garden for people and stuff like during my university years to kind of earn on the side. But other than that, didn't really work before. So only setups you're looking for right now is 1 nuke below 40K, 2 reclaim of 46.2, 3 breakdown of 44K support, and then long on the reclaim. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, and I think you said it relatively well. So I think on the long side, right, there's a bunch of ways to kind of get long. Basically, you take this back, that's bullish, in my opinion, at least into like 50K, and I'm gonna look for a play probably to kind of do that. You lose this support down here in 44 and then reclaim it again. That's also a bullish play, and I think that's also a target to 50K. So let's say it breaks down here, and then you try to get in somewhere here and get out here, and that's what I'm trying to do, or like down here if I get to, or if it breaks down completely and with momentum, get long around 40. I'm going to look into that as well. If I see any buying there, that's what I'm going to do. If it breaks this, I'm not going to be buying at all. So there's 3 ways to kind of have action in this. I think one is a momentum play above 46.3. The other is like a failed breakout play below 44 into a reclaim. The third one is buy the nuke and pray it holds. That's 40K, and anything beyond that is just not going to be a buy. I think that's pretty good actually. Like there's a bunch of plans that I have in, like, no matter where this goes. Just right now it's a little bit difficult. But I mean, you can buy into resistance and hope it sticks. It's just at this point might as well just wait for 46 point like something, and then get action there. So there you go. I think we've talked enough. I'm super tired, and yeah, it's been casual. I hope you didn't mind. Talked about a bunch of stuff, markets and real life and anything in between. Really appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out on a Sunday with me. Still wondering why you don't have anything better to do, but I mean, appreciate it nonetheless. And yeah, thanks to the sponsor of the show, which is FTX. Like I said at the beginning, they do mobile trading on their app and portfolio tracking. So if you want to check that out, the links are in the description. I can only recommend it. I think it's one of the best, if not the best, mobile experiences that you can have in crypto. So if you do that at all, it's just the way to go. It's not something I necessarily recommend to everyone. Like, mobile trading isn't something that you need to be doing, but if you do it, might as well do it there. So yeah, thanks for coming by, and we'll see each other maybe actually tomorrow if Kret's not gonna be there. I'll just take over his stuff and we'll do something fun. Hopefully, I'll try to think of something overnight. But yeah, if not, if Kret feels like it tomorrow, he's gonna do tomorrow. But I don't know yet, so we'll see. So yeah, see you guys. Bye bye.